Victor Wembanyama rounds out our 5 out here, being that draped in his silver medal, he told Mike Finger of the San Antonio Express News, quote, "I'm learning and I'm worried for the opponents in a couple of years," which is such a Victor Wembanyama quote.
Well, the best thing is they asked the follow-up, like, for the Spurs, like in the NBA or in FIBA, and he said, everybody.
Yeah. Which, like, look, I said it last time that I think his offense from a, like, engine raising everyone's floor is for way further behind than his defense.
Yes.
Which I still maintain. However, I was texting with an international scout buddy who's been, like, all in on Victor since Victor was like 16. And before the game, he was like, this dude's going to come out and he's going to rip a 3 in the very beginning. And he's going to rise to the occasion because he does. There was one game he was referring to during his Metros 92 season where, like, he just had to rise to the moment. And he did. Like, he literally did rip a 3 in the very early. I think that was France's first bucket. He couldn't buy a shot from outside for the whole tournament. I believe he hit at least 3 in the gold medal game, maybe 4. And, you know, the big Hezi go around Embiid basically sat Embiid's butt on the bench for the next 15 minutes of game time. The monstrous dunk inside. It was an impressive showing for him, absolutely. And it's only a sign of things to come for him. Talk about San Antonio versus FIBA. Like, I'm very excited to see what Chris Paul can do for this guy and the team at large, because you saw a little bit with the French national team. And even there's a buddy of mine who's an agent who is in my pickup run on Tuesdays last night. So this is important, relevant info. Everyone that I spoke to, right down to that dude, last night was like, man, France will be really good if they get guard play. And there isn't a ton of, you know, Killian Hayes isn't coming to uplift the French backcourt anytime soon. And Ricochet's a wing, and Alex Sarr is a big, and Tijan Salwan is maybe the largest person I've ever seen in my life. So there's potential coming in future drafts, maybe as early as 2025. But yeah, A, excited to see what Chris Paul can do with this guy. B, Wemby's insane. Just for him to be at 19, 20 years old in front of that home crowd with all the weight of those expectations. And Nick Batum said it post-game that, like, I mean, France was a mess for the last year plus through the exhibition run, getting, like, lambasted by Canada. And for them to pull this off, and there was so much skepticism that this was going to be a close game. And I remember hearing a coach buddy in the league tell me on the phone, like, this is going to be a 40-point blowout. So there was that aspect out there for them to totally rebuff that and bring this thing to a 3-point game with a minute left, like you said at the top. Really great showing from France, and just a really strong cap to a interesting opportunity for young Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah, the name to watch for France, I think, at this point is, according to our colleague Kristen Peak, our pal on the Draft Insight, Nolan Traore, point guard who I think 18 years old, expected to be maybe a top 5, top 6 pick, like high end of the lottery draft pick next summer. And if he hits, yeah, then you're talking about they were caretaker minutes with Frank Ntilikina on the floor. There were, you know, they turned to Isaiah Cordonier for a lot of their ball handling. Fournier did some off the bench, but, like, yeah, another, like, incisive guard would really be helpful there. And then, you know, we talk about what comes in 4 years' time for them. Like, Wemby will be 24 in LA. The guys who really broke through and were integral in getting France right after the Gobert sort of benching and, you know, de-emphasizing of him and Fournier, which is like Gershon Yabusele, Isaiah Cordonier, Matthias Lesort. They're all can be in their early 30s. So, like, they could still absolutely be competitive pieces of that team. And then, Yeah, you got Bilal Koulibaly, who barely played in this tournament, but is going to be part of that, a fixture of that. As you mentioned, Risa Shea Sar, Tijan Salan, Pacon Dadier, that the Knicks drafted, who's I think going to be the youngest or second youngest player in the league this season, and Traore. Like, there's a lot of young talent in the pipeline that could be, early 20s, mid 20s, entering in with some veteran wing play and bigs and some bulk there. So it's going to be a formidable team. And I think, you mentioned Batum. One of the things that he said after the game was, yeah, like the US is the best team in the world, but we're getting closer. And, we respect them, but we're not scared of them. And I think that's like that overall
They were
team
not scared.
And program mindset, nor was Serbia, nor was Germany. Like these are teams that have, nor was Canada in the World Cup, like teams that have taken the US measure, and, they're not going to walk in and just genuflect in front of the names on the backs of the roster. So whatever the construction of Team USA is when we get to 2028, whatever some of these other rosters look like, there's going to be an opportunity there because, yeah, I don't know that we're going to, maybe we see one or two of Durant, LeBron, Curry, but we're not going to see them like this at this stage, at this level come there. So there's an opportunity and an open door for these teams to walk through. And Victor is an awfully, I don't know, he's going to have to duck to get through that door, but I think he's going to be first in line to do it.
Let's duck out of here quickly for a break, and we'll be right back with some more No Cap Room.